as far as you guys, when starting out and then eventually gaining traction and really having a feel of how the photo booth industry works, like what were some strategies that you implemented that helped differentiate your company from the competition?
For me, I feel like I can pinpoint, a couple things. One is structure. Structure seems to be my superpower. Sometimes it's a hindrance because I get too involved in it, but having a great structure so that everything is the same every time, everything's automated or not automated, maybe it's not always automated, but you always have systems to make sure that you're always delivering the same product consistently. You're responding the same way consistently to everybody. So that was big for us. And also like setting ourselves apart with our branding. Sometimes people may feel it's a little hokey, but we adopted like a red bowler hat very early on. And I feel that really helped us in particular, because when we would go to events, planners and venues and DJs and photographers, there's so many photo booth companies out there and they all look exactly the same. They all blend in. But with our signature red bowler hats, people just started saying, hey, I saw you at this event 2 days ago or last week. Or I see you guys everywhere. In reality, they're seeing everybody everywhere, but we're only remembering that they saw us, and that was important to our initial growth, I think, and still is.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. I really love that, Jason. How about you, Lab?
For me, it was once I sat down and had some structure. So I was one of those people who, like, if someone called me on a weekday where I was a little bit slower, I would be more open to haggling on pricing. Oh, $25 less. Okay, let's go ahead and do it because I'm not doing anything anymore this weekend or this week. Once I had structure, that helped me with the same thing as Jason, like how you answer to each inquiry. There's no back and forth on pricing. Like your price is the same no matter if you talk to customer A, B, or C. That really helped me. And then the other thing was changing like my mindset. So I know I talk a lot about when I had a mindset of a DIYer, always trying to be a budget provider. Everything that I invested in the beginning, I always thought of it as a loss. Like I'm putting out $50. I'm losing $100. I'm losing $2,000 on this photo booth. When I changed like how I saw that, like this $2,000 photo booth it's gonna be an investment that's gonna make me so much more. Once I saw as you're not throwing away money, you're actually investing and you're going to make money from that investment. Education, the same thing. That was a struggle for me in the beginning because I did not understand. There's a lot you don't know because we wear so many hats. In the beginning, if someone told me you want to invest in XX dollars to learn how to do whatever with software or learn a concept in business, I never understood it. But now I see it really does. That's the best way to shortcut your business to have it grow, like investing in education, equipment, R&D. I don't see it as a waste of money anymore because you'll always earn that back.
That's so good. It's definitely a story that's common to those that have been doing it well in the photo booth industry. For you, Lap, I want to dig a little bit deeper. When you mentioned when you had a different mindset, how did that actually start to change? What caused you to just really, we get a lot of content on like TikTok and some YouTube, but what was it for you that really allowed you to just have that shift that this is what I'm going to do?
When I had somebody in our industry that was like, Lap, you have to get I don't know if it was the Alien V or DigiV. I think it was a transition. And I thought to myself, this is insane. Not a lot now when you see the grand scheme of it. But back in the day, I thought $500 for a flash when you can get like a newer for $80. That was mind boggling. And when I started pushing towards like cleaner booths, investing in higher cost booths and the equipment that we're putting out there, nothing in our output really changed, but just like the perception of what you put there. Like a lot of people in our industry would be like, oh, wow, that looks like Lap's photo booth. That looks like your clean setup. Or people would set me as the bar on setup shots for other companies. And that's when you realize nobody's telling you this stuff, but they're seeing it. That was really the moment where I thought, you know what, you cannot take those shortcuts. Even if it's a savings of $25, like it's in the grand scheme of things, it just, your brand will be better when you invest in your business. So that cemented it in for me. And I forgot to mention for another reason that another point where I turned the corner was when I started niching down. I don't think people stress that enough. Like when you're providing services that is exactly like every other photo booth. We talk about this in our props podcast. Like if everybody has props and you have props, you literally live like your neighbor and the thousands of other photo booth providers. Nothing wrong with props. But if you pull props from your services, nothing else can be different besides the fact that you don't have props, but that makes you stand out for that specific look and aesthetic. So niching down to like how you look, what type of services you provide, that really made sense. Jason, I feel like the same with you, right? Like that catapulted you out from the rest of the competition.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of putting the focus on the engagement and things that people can't easily replicate. We still use props personally. I know that Lap doesn't, and we have nothing against props, certainly. But when somebody says people know me by my props, so I can't quit, like that's what makes us sets us apart from other companies. I mean, the thing that's setting you apart from other companies will literally cost me what, $100, $200. Like if there's a barrier of $200 for any company to be just like you, then how apart from the rest of the industry are you really? You know, so having a bunch of props, maybe if there are a bunch of very unique props, like full costumes or something that is truly different from what everybody else is doing. But I really, $200 isn't going to set anyone apart from the rest of the industry. Really honing down on lighting or staff engagement, these things, or else very specified setups that are very different from what the rest of the industry or your market is doing locally.